Let's practice solving some multi-step equations together. For number 1, we have 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 5 is equal to 7x minus 4. First thing I'm going to do here is distribute this 3 to both terms inside the parentheses. So 3 times 2x, that's going to equal 6x. And then we have a subtraction, then 3 times that 5 is going to be 15. So that's going to be 6x minus 15 on the left side is equal to 7x minus 4 on the right side. Okay. At this point, let's go ahead and see if we can combine some like terms by moving some pieces to the left or to the right of the equation. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to decide to add 15 to both sides of the equation using the addition property of equality. Once we do that, we're going to get 6x plus 0, or just write 6x, and that's equal to 7x. And then the negative 4 plus 15 on the right side is going to be a positive 11. At this point, we're going to go ahead and get the x's together on the left side. We're going to use the subtraction property of equality and subtract 7x from both sides. On the left side, 6x minus 7x is going to be negative 1x, or just negative x. On the right side, 7x minus 7x is 0x, so it's going to cancel out, and we're going to have a positive 11. Next, we're just going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 1 here just to get rid of that coefficient. And so we're just going to get x. So x is going to equal, and then 11 divided by negative 1 is going to be negative 11. X equals negative 11 would be the solution to this equation. Let's see number 2 now. For number 2, we have negative 3x plus 5 is equal to 2 times the quantity of 4x minus 5. First things first, let's go ahead and distribute this 2 to both terms inside this parentheses. On the left side, let's leave this negative 3x plus 5 alone. On the right side, 2 times that 4x is going to be a positive 8x, and then 2 multiplied by that 5 is going to be a 10, so we have 8x minus 10 on the right side. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get some of these terms together. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and subtract 8x from both sides of the equation using the subtraction property of equality. And when we do that, negative 3x minus 8x on the left side is going to be negative 11x. We're still going to have that plus 5. On the right side, the 8x minus 8x is 0x, so we just have negative 10 on the right side. Next, let's go ahead and use the subtraction property of equality again and take away 5 from both sides. So on the left side, we'll have negative 11x plus 0, or just negative 11x equals, and negative 10 minus 5 is going to be negative 15 on the right side. Finally, using the division property of equality, let's go ahead and divide both sides by negative 11. So we're going to get 1x, or just x. And so x is going to equal, and then 15 divided by 11, negative divided by negative is a positive. So we're just going to write our solution as an improper fraction, but feel free to write a mixed number if you want. X equals 15/11 would be the solution to this equation. Let's check out number 3. For number 3, we have x minus 4 is equal to 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 5. First, let's go ahead and distribute this 3 to both terms in the parentheses. So we have this 1x minus 4 on the left side, and on the right side, 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times 5 is going to be 15. Okay, so that's going to be our first step. Next, let's see if we can get everything to the same side that has the same type of term. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1x on both sides of the equation. When we subtract 1x from both sides, we're just going to have negative 4 on the left side is equal to 6x minus 1x is going to be 5x, and then we still have this plus 15. Next, let's use the subtraction property of equality and take away 15 from both sides of the equation. When we do that, on the left side, negative 4 minus 15 is going to be negative 19, and on the right side, we still have this positive 5x. Finally, we can divide both sides by 5 here, and if we do that, we're just going to get that 1x, or x is going to equal negative 19/5. As a mixed number, you could write negative 3 4/5, but as an improper fraction, we can just write negative 19/5. All right, for number 4, it looks like we have a little bit more to look at because we have 2 sets of parentheses. On the left side, we have 2 times the quantity of 2x minus 5, and that's equal to the right side of negative 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 5. So let's go ahead and distribute this 2 to both terms over here on the left side, and let's also distribute this negative 3 to both terms in the parentheses to the right side. So 2 times 2x is going to equal 4x, and then 2 times that negative 5, or 2 times that 5 is going to be 10, and subtract it. On the right side, we have negative 3 times 2x, that's negative 6x, and a negative 3 multiplied by 5 is going to be a negative 15. We could write plus negative 15, but I'm just going to write minus 15 instead. Okay. At this point, let's use some properties of equality. I'm going to decide to add 6x to both sides of this equation. If we do that, on the left side, 4x plus 6x is going to be 10x minus 10, and on the right side, we're just going to have this negative 15. Then we're going to go ahead and add 10 to both sides of the equation. When we do that, the negative 10 and positive 10 cancel out, so we have 10x is equal to, and negative 15 plus 10 is going to be negative 5. One final step, let's divide both sides by positive 10, so we're going to get 1x or just x. And on the right side, negative 5 divided by positive 10 is going to equal a negative 1/2. So x equals negative 1/2 would be the solution to this equation. Here's number 5. For number 5, we have 1/3 times the quantity of this 6x minus 9 is equal to negative 4x minus 7. First, let's go ahead and distribute this 1/3 to each of these terms on the inside. 1/3 of 6 is just equal to 2, so we have 2x, and then 1/3 of 9 is equal to 3, so we have 2x minus 3 is equal to negative 4x minus 7. Next, let's go ahead and move our terms around so we can combine them. So let's go ahead and add 4x to both sides of the equation. 2x plus 4x is going to equal 6x, and we have a minus 3 is equal to just this negative 7 on the right side. Next, we're going to go ahead and add 3 to both sides of the equation. If we do that, we're going to have 6x is equal to this negative 4. And then finally, we can divide both sides by 6. If we do that, we're going to get 1x or just x on the left side, and negative 4 divided by positive 6 is going to equal a negative 2/3. This would be the solution to this equation. For number 6, we have 3x plus 8 is equal to 3/4 times this quantity of 8x minus 20. Let's go ahead and distribute this 3/4 to both of these terms inside the parentheses. On the left side, we're going to leave this 3x plus 8 alone for now. And if we do 3/4 of 8x, we can cross cancel the 8 and 4 to make 2. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. So we're going to get 6x. So 3/4 of 8 is just equal to 6. And then 3/4 of 20 is going to be 15, just because we can cross cancel the 4 and 20 to make 1 and 5. And 5 times 3 is 15. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and just get some of these terms together. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 6x from both sides. If we do that, on the left side, 3x minus 6x is going to be negative 3x. We still have a plus 8. And on the right side, we're going to have minus 15. Following that, let's go ahead and subtract 8 from both sides. Doing that, we get negative 3x is equal to negative 23. And then finally, we can go ahead and divide both sides by negative 3. And if we do that, a negative divided by negative is a positive. So we're going to get 1x or just x is equal to 23/3. This would be our solution. For number 7, it looks like we have 2 sets of parentheses again. We have 7/3 times the quantity of the 6x minus 12 is equal to 4/3 times the quantity of 9x plus 15. So first, I'm going to go ahead and distribute this 7/3 to both of these terms in the parentheses. Multiplying 7/3 times 6, the 6 and 3 will cross cancel to make 1 and 2. 2 times 7 is going to be 14, so we have 14x minus, and then for 7/3 times 12, the 3 and 12 can cross cancel to make 1 and 4. 7 times 4 is going to be 28. On the right side, let's go ahead and distribute this 4/3 to both of these terms inside the parentheses. So 4/3 times 9, the 3 and 9 can cross cancel to make 1 and 3. 3 times 4 is 12, so we're going to get 12x. And then we have 4/3 times 15. The 3 and 15 can cross cancel to make 1 and 5. 5 times 4 is going to be 20, so we have plus 20. Next, let's go ahead and get our terms together. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 12x from both sides of the equation. 14x minus 12x is going to be a positive 2x, minus 28 is equal to a positive 20 on the right side. Then we can go ahead and add 28 and add 28 on both sides of the equation. When we do that, we're just going to have 2x left on the left side, and 20 plus 28 is going to be 48 along the right side. And finally, we can divide both sides by 2 here, and we actually get a whole number for an answer. We get 1x, or just x, is equal to positive 24. This would be the solution to this equation. Finally, for number 8, we have 1/2 times the quantity of 5x minus 4 is equal to 4/3 times the quantity of this 6x minus 1. First, I'm just going to go ahead and distribute this 1/2. There are some different strategies you can try for this problem, but I'm going to go ahead and just keep consistent with what I did in all the others. Half of 5 is just going to be 5/2, so I'm going to have a new coefficient of 5/2 x, and then half of this negative 4 is going to be a negative 2. On the right side, we're going to go ahead and distribute this 4/3 to both terms. Nice for us, the 4/3 and 6 will cross cancel to make the 3 and 6 become a 1 and a 2. So 2 times 4 is going to be 8x. and then 4/3 times -1 is just going to be -4/3. At this point, you can go ahead and rearrange things, but the fractions are going to be a little bit, a little bit frustrating to deal with maybe. And feel free to do that. But what I'm going to do here is look at the denominators. Looks like we have this 2 and this 3. So the LCM, or the first time the 2 and 3 meet, is going to be at 6. So if we go ahead and actually multiply everything by 6, we should then not have to deal with fractions at all. So if we multiply 6 by this 5/2, then the 2 and 6 will cross cancel to make 1 and 3. 3 times 5 is going to be 15, so we're going to get 15x. Next, if we multiply this 6 by this -2, that's just going to be -12, so we're going to write -12. Then multiplying this 6 by this 8x, 6 times 8 is 48, so we're going to get 48x. And then finally, we have 6 multiplied by this 4/3, or -4/3. The 3 and 6 will cross cancel to make 1 and 2. And -4 times 2 is going to be -8. So if we make everything 6 times bigger, we can solve this equation and get the solution without dealing with any more fractions. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take away 15x from both sides of the equation. Doing that, we're just left with -12 on the left side. On the right side, we're going to have positive 33x minus 8. Then following that, let's go ahead and add 8 to both sides of the equation. And when we do that, we get -4 on the left side is equal to positive 33x on the right side. And finally, let's go ahead and divide both sides by 33. So we get positive 1x, or just x, is equal to -4/33. So there you have 8 different practice problems on solving some multi-step equations that has a lot of distributive property throughout each of these practice problems. If you found the video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And as always, keep up the great work, and I'll see you in the next one.